stream should be coming up now. YouTube is up. KUAW is up. Okay, you're connected. We'll start the intro.
type of flower that I like better than regular flowers.
And I said, if you really care, you'll find me some lilies in February.
Lilies, I like the ones you can smoke.
I like that. You got flowers too.
I can't say that on the radio. Hey, it's legal in Missouri now. What up, Missouri? We can talk about it.
It's not here.
I think we can talk about it because it's legal now.
They'll let you have a gun, but they won't let you have no marijuana. I'm talking about here in Texas.
Yeah, here in Texas. But shoot, even in states where it's legal to, and it's crazy because I did see a lot of people talking about the prices and everything like that when it comes to recreational marijuana.
They taxing.
And how many of us melanated people actually own a dispensary or a grower or actually get into that field, because it's crazy because they open up all these legal avenues for medical marijuana and everything like that, but it's still people going to jail behind marijuana. There's still people that's locked up, incarcerated for years behind marijuana and everything like that, so it's like, how many of us actually break into that industry? So me, I'm still going to get it from the same person that I've been going to get it from, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying that because at the end of the day, these dispensaries don't support us, and they're not letting us in the game. They're not letting us get the money off of it or helping us get into the industry and making it where it's fair for us to get into the industry, but yet we are the ones most prosecuted behind it and serving time behind it, and our men and our women are locked up behind it, but yet now they're making money off of it. And me personally, when the government starts to put their hands in things, and like people say, the government don't have nothing to do with it.
I don't.
They say that they have personal growers and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. But I'm not buying it. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true.
Yeah, like I'm not buying it because I feel like anytime the government gets in the hand of it, stuff starts going wrong. And like me, for instance, I know I had got sick a couple of years ago when the government first started putting their hands into the marijuana game. And I had a cannabinoid hypermesis. Cannabinoid hypermesis or something like that. Somewhat it's called. Y'all have to look it up. But it was crazy. The dang disease almost took me out. You know what I'm saying? Like I had got down to 98 pounds. I couldn't eat nothing. I was throwing up. I had what they call repetitive vomiting syndrome. Like I couldn't eat nothing. I couldn't drink nothing, not even water. I couldn't go to the bathroom. Like I literally was dying. Okay. And they told me it was because of weed. Weed ain't killed nobody. In all the history of weed, people ain't been overdosing. People ain't been getting sick. People ain't been doing none of that.
Eat and go to sleep.
Off of weed. Sleepy, happy, hungry. Hungry, happy, sleepy. Like, what the cat? How did he say that? Hungry, happy, sleepy. Like, that's it. Like, it wasn't nothing else. Now, all of a sudden, the government's getting into it, and you got this cannabinoid hypermesis disease, and
put it in the dirt.
You know what I'm saying? Put it in the dirt, putting it in the grow, putting it in the seeds. They're doing something because they want to make it more potent, right? And anytime you try to alter something's original, like that's like my papa, he used to tell me all the time, I smoke Reggie. when we started getting into all this Kush and exotic and granddaddy and cookies and all this other kind of stuff. I'm talking about we used to sit at the table, we rolling up or whatever with my grandpa, because yes, I smoke with my grandpa. Okay. So we sitting at the table, we rolling my grandpa like, I don't want none of that what y'all got. I want that Reggie. And that's what I'm gonna be smoking. He said, I've been smoking Reggie for 30 years. And that's what I'm gonna smoke. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what in the world? But now I get it. I get it because you never know what people are putting into it or doing it to alter it or whatever, and what type of effects that's going to have on your body. And now all of a sudden you got people overdosing from weed.
Because they putting fentanyl.
Fentanyl. Fentanyl is one of the most dangerous drugs ever. I'm like, where the heck did this come from? Like,
I thought people used to take that, like women would take it a lot. I thought in the old days, like 70s, 80s, because they would make them thin. I thought it was called fen or something in that. What is it?
I don't know. We have to look it up. I don't know because I ain't never heard about it till people start dying from it. and they was like, I'm trying to put it into, do I gotta take a break? I don't feel like I should have to take a break. I literally just got on. Okay. Okay, cool. I used my break at the beginning. Yeah, I was late. I promise my mama used to tell me I'll be late to my own funeral, but I always tell her, listen, time is an illusion. I'll be off of God's time. You know what I'm saying? Whatever time I was supposed to get, whatever time I showed up, that was the time that God meant for me to get there. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what I could have avoided. I could have been in a 10-pound car accident on the highway if I would have left my house earlier. So, you know, what happened? You found it?
Yeah, it's Fertamine or something. It's not.
That's the weight loss drug. Yeah, that's the weight loss drug that you got to get from the doctor. Yeah, because I know people that still do that.
They used to use it. Well, it was approved in 1959. The FDA approved it then, and then they would use it a lot in the 90s. So yeah, I just remember seeing all the commercials when I was a kid. Fin.
I need that. I wish they make something to make you gain weight.
That stuff in the orange box. I don't know what it's called.
Something in the orange box.
Yeah, you know the stuff that be in the orange box. It's like a syrup, like
is it a weight gain syrup?
Yeah, it be.
I didn't hear people talking about weight gain syrup. Because I'll be extremely too small. But yeah, so anyway, we're gonna get into the I want to talk about, because I said I was gonna talk about this a couple of weeks ago, and then I took a hiatus and I haven't been live on the air, whether y'all recognize it or not, but I haven't been live on the air in a couple of weeks. But okay, send that to me.
I think it was something cool with it, though, that they were like, yeah, we're not gonna. Have you seen? But okay, just agree. Have you seen that stuff before?
So I know a couple of weeks ago I said I was gonna touch on this, which again I still want to talk about. Today I'm gonna do the seven deadly sins. Yeah, so I'm gonna do the 7 deadly sins, but I also want to do the 10 commandments. So I think I'm gonna do the 10 commandments. Why you look at me like that? I want to do the 10 commandments. So I think I'm gonna do the 10 commandments coming up here soon. But since we got a short show today, I feel like the 7 deadly sins fit in perfectly. So the first one is what? Lust.
That means unrestrained sexual craving.
What does that say? Be pure, guard your heart, give yourself projection, exercise when you're bored. Okay. So lust. Yeah, to avoid it. So you got lust. So let's talk about lust, because lust is a big thing in our community right now. When we think about the 7 deadly sins and what people who say who they are and what they are, whatever, but however, yet they give into this physical, carnal sensation of physical connection. Sex. I should be able to say sex. Sex is not a cuss word. So they give into the carnal fixation of sex and having sex with people or whatever, and it's like it's not even a spiritual thing anymore. Like people leave out the spiritual access, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
The spiritual part of it.
Yeah, aspect. That's what I'm trying to say. The spiritual aspect of sex, you know what I'm saying? And it mostly puts us in this sin. If you believe in the 7 deadly sins, it puts us in this sin of lust. Because, and to me, when I say sin, the reason that I think it's a sin is because you can get yourself in so much trouble just by moving off of lust. You can create children that you don't want.
Yep.
You can create diseases that you did not want for yourself. You can alter your life by giving in to lust. You can contract AIDS, herpes, all kind of diseases that you can't even get rid of.
Yep.
And we ain't even talking about the soul tie.
Yeah, and not even just that, because I feel like, that's a big part of it. I think a lot of relationships nowadays, their foundation is lust. Think about it. So many people, the first couple of times they hang out, they're already giving up the goods. And I can't act like, I'm just above it, because none of us are. None of us are. I've definitely been there. But I think that's one of the major issues. So when your foundation is built on lust, that's the rest of the relationship. That's your whole love house or whatever. Your relationship house is built with straw.
The foundation of lust.
any
in the moment
Jezebels
that it's
come
not
around
there
and
no
huff,
more,
yeah.
the moment that it's not there no more,
Yeah.
they're gonna go seek it from someone else.
Yep, you huff and puff, and now the house is blown down.
Blown down, all the way down.
But I do think lust, I know you shouldn't have any, but I do think that lust is necessary in some aspects of relationships because, like, okay, there was an episode of Martin, and Tommy was dating some girl, and they were obsessed and all that, and like Gina was like, "That's not love, it's lust." And Martin was like, "I lust on you sometimes," you know. I think like in moderation, like little doses, but like micro doses, because sometimes I do want my man to.
But can you have lust in a relationship?
Think so.
I think it's more of just a physical attraction. Like it's the attraction, the love, and everything that's supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like lust to me is strictly for the physical. Like you're doing something that you wouldn't normally do, or you're sleeping with someone that you wouldn't normally sleep with, or you sleep with someone and then the next day you're like, why did I do that? You know what I'm saying? It was like you were trying to feed that physical appetite, that lustful appetite, that carnal appetite within yourself. But when you're in a relationship with someone, I think that's just the natural, what it's supposed to be. I don't think it's necessarily lust because. But
would you say that, you know, when you first see somebody, if they're not the most attractive, are you going to get them really like get to know them? Or, you know, I think lust is also like when you first see somebody and you're immediately attracted to them because they're fine or they have like physical aspects that you're attracted to. And so you move and you go and talk to them off of that. I feel like that's kind of lust. That's lust.
Well, I think that's the case. I think all relationships are built off lust.
Yeah,
because you have an initial physical attraction to someone.
And even if you, not to cut you up, but even if you don't, like when you like say there's somebody that you would never be attracted to, right? But you get to know them, and so you fall for them. That's not lust. I think that's actual love because they're not the person that you would normally be with aesthetically, but you got to know this person. You love their personality. You fell in love with like who they are as a person, and that's love, you know?
Right.
But that's very, very like few, far and few, because most of us go off of the initial attraction, like you were saying, like so.
I mean, but I just think being physically attracted to your partner is a given.
Yeah.
Like, and granted, if you're not off the rip physically attracted to someone, you kind of grow to become physically attractive to them as their personality grows on you more. But just initial physical attraction, like I don't feel like nothing is wrong with that. Me personally, I don't feel like I have moved off lust in several instances
times,
because I didn't care about it wasn't about the person I was with. It was about my needs and what I wanted at that time. I really didn't even care about who I was doing what I was doing with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was just the fact it's what I wanted to do. So I was gonna do it. Yeah. Like I had an itch that needed scratching. You know what I'm saying? And so I scratched it. Like that's
I've definitely been pressured into some lustful situations. Like I did not want to do this person, but they just kept bugging me and I was already around them and you know, and it was just like, I really don't want to, but you just after a while you get tired of them trying and you get this is when I was younger. Now I will leave. But you know, back then in my early 20s, mid 20s, you know, I would just, all right, fine, like let's go ahead and do the do. And then it was like, ugh.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, and I feel like that's even a form of lust because you didn't want to do it.
Right.
But you were pressured. That's lust pressure. Lust pressure. What a concept. We just came up with that. We want to
but it's a lot of women that go through those type of things or whatever. It's like, because in an instance, sometimes they're scared to say.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So like even they feel pressured off of a safety thing. Like, oh, I got to do this because if not, he might hurt me and do it anyway. At least now I'm just doing it. I'm not being hurt too. Yeah. Even though you are still being hurt because it's hurting emotionally. You mental, but yeah, no, for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, the times that's happened, it was because I was afraid of what the person would do.
Yeah, and that's another thing, like just people feeling, you know what I'm saying, about the world that we're in today, because that is a major thing. It's like you feel like you have to do it because if you don't do it, then you're risking yourself being put at even higher level of danger of like rape or you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And as women, you know, we constantly have to think about those things.
And it sucks because it's like you're not trying to manifest this, but unfortunately this is a reality that we have to, you know, take into consideration every time we walk out the house. But
okay, so we got to move on, yes, because we ain't gonna get through
right. The next one, gluttony, to overindulge, especially by overeating. I feel like you could be a glutton with. I feel like lust and gluttony kind of go hand in hand because you could be a sex glutton.
Now, gluttony to me, okay, so gluttony is one of my major ones, right? Because I am so skinny, and I'm skinny, okay. And people always be like, you don't eat enough. You know, you're supposed to eat 3 times a day. And I always tell them, who came up that we were supposed to eat 3 times a day? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did that concept come into society or come into as a social norm that our body needed to eat, our body needed to be fed 3 times a day? And the reason that I say that is because you look into back, and I'm just going to say the Bible because a lot of people relate to the Bible, but you think about John, who fasted in the market for 7 days. Is that correct, right?
I don't know.
John, I'm talking to him because he knows. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for a thumbs up, thumbs down. Like, make sure I say the story right. You know what I'm saying? But I know he fasted for 7 days in like a marketplace or something like that. And then you got Jesus, who fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And they said, and when he had came up out of it, he was hungry. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about it, it's like, does your body, it's crazy because I'm not even Christian. I be knowing more stories in the Bible. But does your body really need to eat 3 times a day? I say no. I survive and I'm alive and I don't eat 3 times a day.
I honestly think it depends on the person. Because even with like dietarians, like when they're, you know, or like fitness people, they'll say like, yeah, I eat, you know, my 3 major meals, but I also eat, you know, throughout the day. Like I'll have a snack, I'll have my afternoon snack, my evening snack, my, you know, whatever. So,
but is it overeating? Because your body doesn't really need that.
The thing is it's they eat. They're not eating to be full. They're eating to satisfy, or they're eating to put their body in some type of ketosis or whatever they're trying to do. When I think of gluttony, I think about people that go to buffets and that are there for 3 hours. I think of people that will. I'm sorry, Ryan. I got to put you out there. My brother. I bought an 8-pack of cookies the other day. Big chocolate chip cookies. I put them in the glass bowl. I came back down 2 hours later. All the cookies were gone. You didn't need to eat all 8 of those cookies. Nobody else in the house got cookies. Because you decided to eat them all, and you didn't even want them all. You just can't control yourself. Stop eating. That's gluttony. That's what.
And you got a lot of people that are like that. Like, you would think about obese people or people that eat because they're depressed or because they're sad, so they eat even though they're not hungry. And then also, like, when you're eating, it is like your body tells you that you're full,
and you keep eating,
but you just keep eating. Because you're like, I ain't about to waste this money. You know, remember your parents used to tell you, you used to tell me like, I'm full. And everybody know you gotta eat your whole food, eat your whole plate. Like, bro, that's gluttony. I know my kids gonna be hitting me with like, mama, that's gluttony. Like, and what I'm gonna say? What I'm gonna say? You right. Throw it in the trash. Like,
no, not throw it in the trash. We're gonna wrap it up, and when you're hungry again, you can reheat it and eat it.
But yeah, you know, whatever to do with it. But it's like you start checking yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you can say it's a sin to waste food, but it's a sin to overeat it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Put it away in the fridge. If you're hungry again,
you know, some people don't eat leftovers. My kids probably be bougie.
No,
I don't eat leftovers.
I don't think they got nothing to do with being bougie. I think that has everything to do with being spoiled. It don't got nothing to do with being bougie, because I grew up very bougie. Even though I was poor, we were bougie. Some stuff I wasn't going.
I really don't do leftovers. I think when I got older, I started eating leftovers.
Yeah, because you started.
When I was younger, I didn't, you know. No, it's I actually start understanding that the seasoning sits in a little bit more when you eat it the next day. Like, sometimes food tastes better the next day than it do the day you actually cook it, because the seasoning sets in, and you know what I'm saying, over everything like that. But gluttony can be taken a lot of things. I just think recognize your body, listen to your body, don't push your body. If you are full, stop eating.
Stop eating.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not hungry, don't just eat to be eating.
Yeah, and that's, you know, unfortunately, that's what my brother does. He'll just eat because it's there. It's like, you don't even want that. You just ate. Like,
all parents say that about their kids though. Like, they used to say, y'all just eat the stuff because it's here. Now, if I quit buying it, y'all wouldn't eat it.
Right.
Exactly. But it's like, it's just what you do. You just eat it because it's there. Right. Like, it's in your mind, you know what I'm saying? And that's gluttony.
Right.
You know, but the thing about it is if you don't break down these things or whatever, you wouldn't even know what they were.
You wouldn't. So the next one, pride, inflated sense of one's accomplishments. Be humble. You need God and others. Pray and serve. Okay, I didn't need to say that part, but pride, inflated sense of one's accomplishments. So when I think of pride, I think of people that I think of arrogance one, but I also think of somebody who's like, they're struggling. They know they need help. They know they can't do this by themselves, and they will still just struggle and suffer and not ask for the help because their pride won't let them. So when I think of pride, I think of things like that, or I think of never being wrong, never being able to humble yourself and say like, hey, you know what? I wasn't right about this, but that can go into arrogance, which is underneath the pride umbrella. So there's that. But I feel like there's good pride and bad pride.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about pride. Like how you saying, like, for needing help and asking for help, like, I don't know if it's I wouldn't say it's a pride thing with me, but the thing about it is there's always no one there to help you. Then you get used to doing things on your own. You get used to not looking for somebody else to look. You get used to not asking them, because see, like me, it ain't a pride thing, but I don't like being told no. So for me to not get told no means I don't need to ask nobody for nothing.
That could be pride.
Well,
because you don't like no. Your little pride behind.
But it's like I don't ask for much. So when I do ask for something, you know what I'm saying, and you tell me no, then I'm not gonna ask you for anything else. Yeah. Like, it's just not. I don't know if it's a pride thing or not. I might really have to look up the definition of pride, because I just think like that will be, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's just it's not that I'm too proud to ask or to admit, you know what I'm saying, that I need help. It's the thing about it is you don't want to start putting expectations on people, because when you expect something from people, that's how you disappoint yourself. Yeah. And I'm the type of person, you disappoint me, I don't want you around me.
So I think in this definition, because with words, there can be more than one definition of words. We know that. So I think with this pride, I think it's more of like thinking you're more than what you are, and not in
or thinking like, you're better than someone else because of what you
like elitist. Like you think you're elitist. Like you think, oh well, I grew up in Spring and they grew up in Spring Branch, so I'm better than them. Like you think like that, or you don't treat, like, say, you know how they say like you're supposed to treat the janitor with the same respect you treat the CEO. Right. It's when people like rank you like, oh, that's the CEO, I'm gonna be nice to them, but oh, it's a janitor, throw away my trash. Like, right. So even like how people are mean to like waitresses and waiters at a restaurant, and they come to your window and you know you're like, you don't have to be like that, right? At all. It's literally free to be kind. So
yes, I definitely get that one,
because like then there's good pride. Like I have pride in myself to where you can't just tell me anything and I run with it. Okay, so then there's sloth, laziness or lack of effort. Well, laziness, lack of effort. Sloth, I've been guilty of being sloth, because I'll sit there and let stuff happen, knowing I need to get stuff done, and I'll just sit there and let it happen. I don't know if it's me disassociating, like if it's disassociation, or if it's I'm just lazy. But when I figure it out, I'll let y'all know. But yeah, what do you think about this one?
I mean, I sloth is this. I don't like lazy people. I'm gonna say that I don't feel like I am lazy. I do feel like I have times to where I feel like I just need to rest and I don't want to do nothing, which I think you are allowed to go through those times. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to making sure that things are taken care of, business is handled, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people you got rather, they don't want to work, they just sleep from couch to couch every day. They're not trying to put in no effort to do anything for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's lazy. It's like when you don't try to put any effort into bettering yourself or to making your situation better, and you're just content with being with whatever position that it is that you're in, and not working and playing the game all day instead of looking for jobs and filling out job applications when you know you need a job, or you got children to take care of, or whatever the case may be. To me, that's sloth. You know what I'm saying? That's sloth.
So I take that back. I don't think I have like, I don't think I'm lazy, because you know me, I'm gonna keep a job. I'm gonna make sure that like my stuff is right. So yeah, but I think I do have like
what's crazy moments is these the 7 deadly sins. When I sit here reading them, it's like I see these in everybody.
Yeah, I mean, because everybody has
it. Yeah, it's like everybody has
a little bit. Wrath now. Uncontrolled feelings of hatred and anger. I will be the first one to admit that I have had some wrathful moments. Like I am wrathful. Like when I'm angry, I think it's because I don't get angry a lot. So when I am angry, it's like, okay, there's no turning back. Like she went 0 to 100 real quick, or like, but you'll see the buildup. But me, it's never 0 to 100, because I feel like you see a buildup. I feel like do you see a buildup when I get mad? It's like, okay, this happened and this happened and this. Yeah. Okay, I'll ask you off camera.
Pretty sure.
But yeah, I've said some things. I've had some uncontrollable like It was controlled. Maybe it was controllable. I don't know.
Now, see me.
I've held grudges.
Now, see me. Wrath is one that I've had. I don't like to sound vain because I like to remain humble, but wrath is one that I have really mastered. My emotions is something that I have really mastered. Like sometimes I slip, but I'm like a rubber band. You know what I'm saying? It's like I bounce quick. It's like if I succumb to an emotion, I bring myself up really, really fast. And whether that's like sad, grief, anger, no matter what the emotion is, if it's a lower vibrating emotion, I have consciously been practicing for a long time. So I think I took anger management for the first time back in 8th grade. And so for a long time, I have been, because to me, that's what it means to know thyself. And to be in control of yourself is to be in control of your emotions. And so once you start to be in controlling your emotions, then it's certain things that, shit, I got jumped. I was ready to go kill somebody or whatever. You know how much in me it took to sit down, not react, let the universe do what the universe do, let karma be what karma does, and not act out of hatefulness, out of revengefulness, out of pride, because who you think you playing with? You know,
I guess I could say like I've never been like, oh, I want to go. I think I've only reacted like in a like very like wrathful way once. It was with an ex, and it was after he did a whole bunch of horrible things, and I went and I threw all over his house and cars.
Yeah,
but there was a consequence to that. I got arrested.
Yeah.
So
and that's what happens.
Right. So, you know, I think I know myself, and I think because I know myself, I know I've had like wrathful moments.
Yeah.
So it's like, but yeah, that's a tough one.
But I think it's about knowing it and understanding
I think understanding it. So like I definitely say like in my like in the last like 4 or 5 years, I've gotten better at controlling like those emotions. Because there used to be a time where it was like
we got 3 minutes. How many more we got?
Oh, greed, envy too.
Oh, greed and envy.
All right, so enough about wrath. Greed, the excessive desire for material things. Lord,
showing it.
We have.
I'm just saying. No, because to me, greed is, but that's be the people in that society. Like we put so much emphasis on what we have or what we own or what you drive or what you live in and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. And like that's greed.
What your body look like?
Even money, like the desire for money. Like people do anything for money, and that's greed. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta feed other aspects of yourself besides the greed in you.
You also have to give back when if you're abundant, like money wise. If you're blessed in the Lord, and you know the Lord, the Most High, the universe, whatever you believe in, if they blessed you with like finances and abundance of finances,
right,
give back.
Yes.
I feel like that's in every religion, is to give back.
You
don't give everything, but
the thing about this is like that's the flow of money. People don't understand that money is an energy. So to receive, you have to give. That's the flow of money. It's a flow. You know what I'm saying? So the more you give, the more you receive. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you give, the more you receive. And it's their intent behind it. Like I give panhandlers money all the time. I don't care if they about to go buy a crack rock, a 40 ounce, or a sandwich. It's not my business what they're gonna do with it, but my intent behind giving it to them was to help. Right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever situation they might find themselves in, that was the intent behind it. So,
and the last one is envy.
Now,
envy, jealousy towards another's happiness. I can admit that I've had some envious moments. Me too. But it wasn't because I actually hated this person or I was mad at this person or anything like that. It was just like I wish it was me.
Yeah.
But I never spoke negativity into that person's happiness. You know,
right.
It was always like, dang, like you're so lucky, you're so blessed. I wish it was me. Oh, my man don't do that. You know, so I don't know. I mean, I guess that's still envy, but it's never been like a malicious envy. It was like, dang, how do I get that?
Yeah. And I just think when envy comes that we have to learn to celebrate others in seasons that's not our season. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to be able to recognize the season that we're in and then be able to celebrate others and be happy for others as well, because we know that once it's in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Like the preacher say, it's coming around the neighborhood. So if it's in your neighbor, it's on your block, it's gonna hit my block next. So let me celebrate you while it's happening to you. So when it comes over here, we all celebrating together.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, Tyrone in the studio, so I gotta go. I can't even go over. I see him. I seen them. Okay. I gotta go. I'm sorry I was late, y'all. This was a good show. I wish I could have went a little bit more into it. We may revisit these last two on the first half of the next show. But for now, we got to get up out of here. So real quick, the Holy Covenant of Asiatic Nation, ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bondeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity, assist him. If thy sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace.